Rope us in, Admiral.
Pyrphorian pursuit. The Pyrphorians are escaping with the contract.
Leadership.
Oh nice, Sojourner has a festival. The smoke of battle provided the perfect cover for a small craft that's now racing clear of the skirmish. The entire assault must have been a diversion, so they could sneak out with the papers. You and Hannah may never know the truth unless you get them back. They have quite the head start, but you might catch them if you give chase. Alternatively, as few harbors nearby will grant them sanctuary, you can try to anticipate where they're likely heading. So we can either try to trust our lookouts to keep them in range, with our hunting, which is 10%, or navigation, we can just figure out where they're likely going. And we have plenty of navigation, so I'm going to do this one. There. We have them, your navigator smiles. See? Here. Their finger traces a route beyond the Ventura Island. Remarkable how few options they have. Montoya is the only port they might blend in for 50 leagues. Sure enough, you intercept one of the tiny vessels off of Montoya's twinkling bay. It may be no match for your own ship, but to sink them outright risk losing that precious contract to the water. So we can try to disable them or board them. We have force or naval power. We're somewhat prepared to disable them, so I'm going to go for it.
Yar, booty.
Crackerjack, the perfect shot. Through a slender target, the mast snaps through, burying its operators in debris, leaving the boat dead in the water. With the freedom of their ship, your crew find an ingenious-looking machine, but no sign of the Prosperity contract. Nevertheless, you are now certain it must have changed hands in nearby Montoya. You make a beeline for the port, and we got a flame hose, usable on military ships' activated flamethrower. So our damage per shot goes down, but our attack speed goes crazy high. So this will be good if we get really close range. Excellent. Ooh, I have to take something with me. You know, Sergeant, I'm gonna have to. You're not really that great outside of this, so I'm gonna swap you out just so I can have that extra little reward there. And let's continue.
Please, light our way.
Montoya. The contract that those Pyrphorians must be here in Montoya, but where? The city sprawls before you under the pastel blue sky, the distinctive white walls and terracotta of Imperial La Corona glowing softly along the narrow estuary where the Mixcoatl meets the ocean. Yet tranquil it is not. Anxiety is written on every passing face. They must surely know who you are and what you seek, but finding one brave enough to help is a different matter. You can ask around, or instead rely on your own eyes to find clues. Well, we brought all the diplomacy, so we're going to ask the local Montoyans, if they know anything. Your attaché hits off with the harbormaster, presenting you, not entirely falsely, as a fellow port official sympathetic to the Pyrphorian problem in the region. I am sick of it, says the Montoyan. Whenever they come here, it's a nightmare for us. If you're willing to take action, it would be my pleasure to assist. Out on the sun-baked rooftop, he points upriver. There, at the Casona. A large verdant ranch wavers in the distance, the sanctuary of the Pyrphorians.
Help us, Admiral.
The House of Pyr. The prosperity contract must be here. The Casona looks quite modern, with its white walls and pleasant gardens. There is even an adjoining orangery extending naturally towards the neat parterres of the sweet-smelling garden. An arc of white gravel serves as a drive, with long lines of equally white picket fence bordering the acreage in a typically colonial style. Indeed, were it not for the unusual height of this perimeter, and the shelters abutting at regular intervals, armed guards no doubt stationed in each, it would appear as much any other estate. You consider your plan of entry. So we could launch an assault, we could sneak around and have your best person go in there, or play it crafty and try to craft something. Well, we don't have really anything to craft with. We do have a little bit of hunting and nothing else, so let's go with that one. There's some progress at first. Your scout scales the fence, the house draws near, but the weakness of the chosen route suddenly becomes apparent. They find themselves in an exposed part of the garden. If they dwell any longer, they'll be caught. What would you have them do? So we could start targeting the nearest guard or try to climb the nearest tree and wait for an opening. Obviously, I don't have any chance, really, except for this one. Your scout manages to climb fast enough to avoid being spotted. With a short jump, they're on the balcony, and with little effort, they enter through the open window. Inside, your scout meets with no resistance, only dread. The vestibule is a large open room with stairs on either side. A series of pre-Raphaelite panels depicting Pyr, the Fire Mother, adorn the walls. In one, she stands beneath a dark cosmic sky, disciples at her feet, each holding a parade of her flaming hair. The most striking feature of the room, however, is the dome in the center. At first, from below, it appears convex, but it's painted in every detail as a human eye, the oculus. A pinprick of sunlight falls from its pupil onto an ominous platform, thick with ash. You cannot find the contract soon enough. So, do we search the library, the assembly hall, or the study? Let's go with, I don't know, the assembly hall first.
What's eating biscuit for?
Your infiltrator has the place to themselves. The large room basks in the natural light of the dozen rectangular window panes. 4 empty pews confirm this as the place of congregation, although there's no sign of the contract. The lectern reveals a silver ring behind the hinged coat cover. May as well pocket it before moving on. Well, this provides a little bit of attractiveness. I don't really have space for it. Don't really want to get rid of her. She's actually really cool. What I can do, I think, I can swap these out. Don't really need these, and actually I don't really need the champagne after I find the contract, so we might get rid of that next. Actually, let's do this for now. Okay. So now we go to the library, the study. I'm gonna go to the study for no reason. Ah, the contract's there. Excellent. It's waiting on the desk that dominates the sparsely furnished room. Anno will be delighted with this in your possession. The war may be prevented, and the undeniable truth that it has taken to obtain it will be proven worthwhile. Very cool. After weeks of trials and tribulations, your expedition comes home safe. You finally have your hands on prosperity contracts. Now there's a chance for clearing your father's name and in doing so preventing the outbreak of a war between Isabel Sarmento and the Queen.
You beat the Pyrphorians at their own game.
And we made it back here. So we can
well
put this
done,
back in.
eldest. You have served both Isabel and the Empire greatly.
Isabel Sarmento, Her Royal Highness the Queen requires you to give up your iniquitous seizure of prosperity, an island which by no means...
Oh, do stop, Archie. Is this tiny fleet all I have to sink to get my island back?
Maybe nothing need be sunk at all, Majesty.
Who are you to speak up without permission?
This is one of the good children I mentioned. A little forward, but surprisingly helpful so far.
Regard here, Your Majesty. The prosperity contract and our father's diary. The signatures do not match. And now compare with a freight document by our Uncle Edvard. Do you see? He forged the signature in order to impersonate father.
So, Edvard is the traitor? I certainly never authorized that silly Billy to act on my behalf. I declare the contract null and void.
Then we too were betrayed. We will leave prosperity immediately, Your Majesty.
Then, I suppose we'll not be sinking any ships today. Not even as a deterrent?
Terribly sorry, Your Majesty, but I fear not.
Well, in that case, I hereby declare prosperity returned to the good children to compensate the dead father, thereby ensuring Miss Sarmento and co. are safe from this Pyrphorian nuisance.
They are more than a nuisance, and they will never accept this. You must be careful.
We hear you, Isabel, but first we return to Bright Sands and confront Uncle Edvard. His wicked masquerade is over.
I am sorry you had to go through all this just to have justice.
For the first time in my life, I know freedom.
I sense you have news?
Edvard was the cause of all our grief. To see his face when he discovers we know.
Edvard is behind this? He's pathetic. Whatever the punishment, the damage to Edvard is already done.
And with that, we enter Chapter 4. The Torch
Edvard
Passes.
is as good as dead to me.
Edvard! I told you he was rotten as a fig.
Take it before I change my mind.
We confront Edvard this instant. I have so very many words for him.
Only a fool loosens that grip.
Prosperity awarded to the good siblings. War between Isabel and rebel Sarmento over prosperity prevented. Good siblings find proof of Samuel's innocence and indisputable guilt of their uncles. Scoundrel Edvard found to have sold prosperity to Isabel unlawfully. Alright.
Stations!
Now, we have to deliver a contract to Edvard. I also need to kind of
Set sail!
A lustrous
cluster
jewel
together
in the-
my different ships here. I have plenty here. And actually, we can make some interesting additions. And I think... Can we get this yet? Ah! We need heavy guns for the battlecruiser and the monitor. So, that might be something we tackle. I've been kind of messing around with layout stuff and planning. I think... If I got this right, if these are 3 times...
What brings you here, Master?
which they aren't triggered yet, but if they are, 3 times production means this and this will be effectively like 6 farms, and each of them can go to one of these. So which means I can have 6 schnapps distilleries, and if I have 6, I believe that's effectively a 12 production of schnapps because they are made at 30 seconds apiece? Yes. So basically what I'm thinking is I just have this, double this side here, so like take this off, double the schnapp production, and then literally I'll probably swap the warehouse on this side so it just goes straight from here into there. And then, yeah, that's pretty much my schnapps production done. I moved some stuff over here. Basically, I was counting a bunch, and it was like, this is 2, 1, 2.
She had
Over
bunions,
on this
silly old
side,
coot. So I says,
I have 2 artisan
touches, and
kitchens
I
to
don't
2
have-
canneries. I am short on iron, and that's actually causing part of this balance problem. Not all of it.
It's
Still
shallow,
working on it, but I'm
some
out of
luxury
canned food.
wouldn't hurt.
So these are all down a little bit on the income side. I think also
It's only a half.
engineers are down by 12 engineers apiece, which is actually a decent substantial income per house. Just because we don't even have that many engineers. However, I do have, I think, two of these power plants running right now, and I think we're doing really well on the oil. I just have a couple, I think 2 oil lines going through. So that's awesome. We don't even have all of it set up in La Isla yet, so that's awesome. And then what I started to do is kind of move some resources. So I'm trying to get closer to, I want maybe like 100 extra labor force of each. But what I'm doing right now is I'm actually just kind of redoing this area. And I want to open it up a bit more. Maybe allow for more tracks to come through here and stuff like that, and kind of fix this thing. I'm deciding what I need from here as well. So, for example, we're actually running low on iron ore. Right? So maybe
Taking a break.
if I
like
don't
you said we
produce
could.
steel, then some of this will go into iron ore. I can also import from other islands as well. But I'm just kind of cleaning things up, and I'm gonna keep going at this, you know, just to keep messing with it. I have this area opened up here, and I think what I want to do is I want this to become the workers zone. So I'm going to maybe do, like, if this is all of my workers right here, if I can fit them into this kind of region, that'll open up this area and this area. I can move this out into a more organized zone over here. I can reduce this field, all these fields, down by a lot, as we've seen with this, which I still haven't gotten finished. And then from there, actually, is this? Oh, it's just not built yet. Okay, I think. Yeah. So I'll fix all of this up, and then we can move the farmers kind of along this line here. I think that would look pretty awesome. So I think what I'm going to do now, just to wind up this kind of intermediary episode, is I'm going to finish this stuff up. And I kind of want to do it off screen just so I'm not distracted and I don't have to keep like hitting the record, not hitting the record.
To get sick.
Oh no. I was worried about this. I don't know if I moved this, and I don't think it reaches anymore to this section. And I think I also built up Lisa a little bit more. You know, I might just move this
celebrate your leadership.
kind of in here, and then if
I'm used to not having much.
actually remove this one and connect this through. And I have a ship here. Oh, you brought all the disease. I just brought some materials over. I figured that would be a good way to kick things off. A few things got destroyed, so I need to rebuild them with some of that. But yeah, that's not too bad. And I wanted to build these boxing arenas. That's one of the main reasons I had to bring the clay over.
I dreamed of this.
So let's see, double checking. Lisa is kind of in between on the balance. So sometimes it's low, sometimes it's high. I think this is because of the ponchos. A little hiccup there with the mic audio. So this will get dealt with. And I think I'm going to wrap it up there and kind of just polish up some of these things. I haven't expanded to any of the other islands really in here. I might add another cotton area in Perseverance just to keep this one. This is crazy that it fits like pretty much this whole island. And these can have tractors too if I need it.
Again.
So we could potentially move some tractors down here as well. And they have oil, you know, in this area I could supply and make for all these farms as well, which would be kind of cool. But for now, I'm not doing that. Actually, it'd be mostly useful over here with all of this. I did expand this out, so I do have
They don't bring some first.
more rum here, and I think I do need to add a couple logs here, because I think, yeah, we're not really gaining logs, so I might have to add some section where we, like maybe here, where we just kind of funnel logs into this distillery area. For now, I'm cool with that. We have plenty of oil, and so that's why I think the fuel is going to make a lot of sense here on this island, as well as the rest of the New World. With all these farms that we're doing, I think it's going to be very important to have these, especially in such a small area. So let's wrap it up with this editor announcement. We have sewing machines running out, even though we haven't given them any yet, so that's kind of a weird one. I don't want needs consumption to go down though, so I think I'm just going, oh, I don't have that much influence. Yeah, this is the cheapest
We
one.
will all be absolutely. Anything else? Then
There
I'll
we
send
go.
it out.
And I can actually see what we got here. So most of our influence has been on island investment. We have so many islands that we're taking up a lot of influence out of our 400 from our population. We have 200 in islands. We have a decent amount in military, mostly in ships, but a little bit in defense. Right, so that's good to have. And these give us bonuses. So as we invest more and more into them, we gain certain bonuses. For instance, if I put a lot into propaganda, you can see that my newspaper effectiveness goes up. Here we have the expansions, so this is all coming from islands, commuter peers, and shares of other islands. So I think if I build like a couple commuter peers or something like that with my influence, this would go high enough for me to get to this rank, which would be a 200 bonus to island workforce. Doesn't apply to Arctic or Bessa for some reason. I guess they just decided not to include it for that. Whatever. I also have cultural investments, which I'm not... What are the culture ones? I haven't really done any, obviously. I guess if you build more modules or something, like you get a certain amount of modules for free, and then you have to pay for them with influence. But if you do that, then you end up getting more attractiveness in your cities. We should also consider doing zoos and museums soon. That would be nice. Optimizations with like town halls and trade unions, mostly trade unions here, have given me a bonus to a reduction to maintenance costs, which is something that I might look into getting to this rank, because 10% reduced maintenance costs is going to save me $1. But anyway, just small little details like that. I love how this area turned out. It's very organic. This is kind of blocks for the workers, and I kind of like that. What was the other thing that I wanted to say before I signed off here? I think the main thing is, as we're going into our final area here, you know, I have my original flagship, and I have a few frigates, and I believe, is that the only ship of the line I have here? The final battle is going to require quite the naval force, but I kind of want to hold off until I get a few battle cruisers, just because I usually don't have them by the time I do this, and I really want to do that. So I'm going to start production on the heavy weapons right here, which is going to require some dynamite, which I think actually we have from... I think we found some dynamite off of... Yeah, off
Your
of one
people
of...
are starting to get sick.
I just thought I'd fix that. I just got this off of Vicente's ship one time. But we could also produce it with saltpeter, which I believe we have here. Nitro deposit. And then we can produce some heavy weapons. How much is this? 1 minute. Where's it? So this might be one of those where I just plop one down. This thing's huge. So, you know, just like plop it down in a zone, and then make sure I have power to it. But again, I'm going to focus on this area a little bit more, and I'll have something cool to show you guys next time. If you like the video, thanks for watching. I know this one was a little weird because I did a lot of time-lapsey stuff, but hopefully you enjoyed the content, and next time we're going to continue
Custom
the
to deck
story.
size, eh?
Oh, thank goodness. That didn't actually cut as much into my savings as I originally had. I had an issue where it dropped to like 50. It was really bad. Because I have this on automatic, and it probably shouldn't be, to be honest. I actually depended on the soap road a little bit there to get me through that.
I'm here if you ever need a steady, albeit somewhat arthritic hand to guide you.
So I will kind of plan things out, get things organized over here, maybe add a couple lanes for more power stations to kind of have power to these things, as well as do the
We put our love into this.
yeah, tractor barns don't need power, so that's fine. So like, that's okay. However, this could take power, in which case this is all I need. And if I had a power station here, like this would be it, just this little section here, and I wouldn't have to duplicate this again. I wonder, I might move it up. Well, I like it where it is. Yeah, I like it. I like this where it is in this corner. But yeah, we have plenty of oil now, so adding power plants is probably not a bad idea in a lot of sections like this, and obviously here, and obviously here where we can turn it on when these guys are good to go. I also should make a route to get coffee, and I'll think about doing that in a bit. But that's kind of for later Travis to figure out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching. Have a good one. Bye.